Hello everyone, this is Dr. Sneha Sagar from Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, LJ Institute of Pharmacy. I welcome you all in this e-lecture series of LJ Institute of Pharmacy. So in this session, I'm going to take your biochemistry. In biochemistry semester 3, I'll be taking your carbohydrates. So carbohydrate is covered in two different units of your GTU syllabus, Unit 1 and Unit 2. Unit 1 basically contains the introductory aspects of carbohydrates, whereas Unit 2 contains metabolism of carbohydrates. So, in this session, I'm going to take detailed discussion on introductory aspects of carbohydrates. So, what are carbohydrates? Literally, it means they are the hydrates of carbons and they are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms. If we talk about the specific definition, then carbohydrates can be defined as the polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxy ketones or the compounds which produce them on the hydrolysis. The empirical formula of this carbohydrate is CH2ON, where N is 3 or greater than 3. Basically, carbohydrates which are soluble in water and they have the sweet taste, then they are termed as sugars. Next, about the biological role or functions of carbohydrates. So, carbohydrates are the most abundant dietary source of energy, generally about 4 calorie per gram for all the organisms. Then they are the precursor for many organic compounds like fats and amino acids. Also, they are the structure unit of many cell membranes, and they are also involved in the cell functions like cell growth, adhesion, as well as the fertilization process. Carbohydrates are the structural components of many organisms, like in case of plants, case of insects, and also in case of microorganisms. And also, carbohydrates serve as the storage form of energy in terms of glycogen. So, if body demands energy, then they can provide energy to the body. So, this is all about biological importance of carbohydrates. It can be asked in your GTU examination. Next, we have classification of carbohydrates. So, carbohydrates can be broadly classified into three different categories: monosaccharide, oligosaccharide, and polysaccharide. So, what do you mean by saccharide? Saccharide word is derived from the Greek word saccharon, means sugars. So, monosaccharide means mono means one, oligo means few, and poly means many. So, in case of monosaccharide, if one sugar unit is present, then it is called as monosaccharide. In case of oligosaccharide, 2 to 10 different sugar units are present, then it is termed as oligosaccharides. Whereas in case of polysaccharides, more number of sugar units are present and they link together by glycosidic linkages, then they are termed as polysaccharides. Now, monosaccharides, based on their carbon length, they can be further divided into trioses, means 3 carbon sugar unit, 3 carbon chain sugar unit, 4 tetroses, 4 carbon chain length sugar units, pentoses, hexoses, and haptoses. All these are monosaccharides. We have the few examples like glyceraldehyde, glucose, fructose. They are the simplest monosaccharides. Next, we have oligosaccharides. They can be further divided into disaccharides. If two monosaccharide units are clubbed together, then they are termed as disaccharides. Then we have trisaccharides. In case of polysaccharides, it can be further divided based on its function, like structural polysaccharides and storage polysaccharides. We will discuss it in detail in our next slides. So this is about monosaccharides. As I've said, mono means one. So this is the simplest carbohydrate, or it can be defined as the simple sugars. It has the empirical formula of CnH2n and they cannot be hydrolyzed. So this monosaccharides can be divided into other two different categories based on the functional group present on it, like aldoses and ketosis. So if the monosaccharide that contains aldehyde group, then it is termed as aldoses. If the monosaccharide has ketone group, then it is termed as ketosis. The simplest example of aldoses is glyceraldehyde, whereas simplest example of ketosis is dihydroxyacetone. So this is the structure of all the D-aldoses, in which I have said that D-glyceraldehyde is the simplest monosaccharide unit, which is 3 carbon chain unit, in which, see here, this CHO group means aldehyde group is present. This is the 4 carbon chain length erythritose. So here also this aldehyde group is present. So carbon 3, carbon number 4, all these are carbon 5 carbon chain length sugars. These are all 6 carbon chain length sugars. So this is all about D-aldoses. Next we have structure of D-ketosis. Here dihydroxyacetone means it has this ketone group. This 3 carbon chain sugar with ketone group means this is the D-ketosis. Then we have 4 carbon chain length, 5 carbon and 6 carbon. So this is about the structure of D-ketosis. Now what is oligosaccharide? Oligosaccharide, as I've said, it means few monosaccharides unit clubbed together, and on the liberation, on their liberation upon hydrolysis, they form the monosaccharides. So they can be further divided into disaccharides and trisaccharides, as I've said. Then next we have polysaccharides. So poly means many. Many monosaccharides units clubbed together via glycosidic linkages. Then they are termed as polysaccharides, and they have higher molecular weight. They are tasteless, means they do not have the sugary taste. They form colloids with water, and further it can be divided into homopolysaccharides, means if monosaccharide is same in this polysaccharide structure, then it is called as homopolysaccharides. And if different monosaccharides units club together and form polysaccharide, then it is called as heteropolysaccharides. Now we will discuss monosaccharide structural aspects. Basically here we will deal with stereochemistry of these monosaccharides. So as I've said, stereochemistry is important in case of the structure of this monosaccharides. So what are stereoisomers? They have the same structural formula, but they have different arrangement in the space. So if a carbon atom is having 4 different substitution, then it can be termed as asymmetric carbon. And this asymmetric carbon has many isomers. How many isomers? 2 raised to n isomers. Means if glucose is having 4 asymmetric carbon, then its isomers will be 2 raised to n, means 2 raised to 4, means total 16 isomers are present in case of glucose. Now, what are D isomers and what are L isomers? So, D isomers and L isomers mirror images of each other. If we keep mirror between D glyceraldehyde and L glyceraldehyde, then they exactly look mirror images of each other. So, they are the mirror images of each other. Now, what is D isomer? D isomer is named because here the hydroxy group is present on the right hand side of the structure. It means it is D-glyceraldehyde. Whereas in case of L-glyceraldehyde, the hydroxy group is present on the left hand side of the structure, means it is L-glyceraldehyde. So this D-glyceraldehyde and L-glyceraldehyde is taken as reference molecule, and based on that reference molecule, several other monosaccharides named using this reference standard. So if in case of D-glucose and L-glucose, if the hydroxy group attached on fifth carbon, means attached the carbon which is adjacent to this primary alcohol. If it is on the right hand side, hydroxy group is on the right hand side, then it is called as D-glucose. Whereas in case of L-glucose, the hydroxy group attached on the carbon which is adjacent to primary alcohol, if it is on the left hand side, then it is called as L-glucose. So next we have optical activity of sugars. So optical activity of sugar is because of its asymmetricity. So if we keep our compound and we pass the plain polarized light, then it can deviate into two different direction. Like it can deviate into clockwise direction or it can deviate into anti-clockwise direction. So based on that, we can get the optical isomers of these sugars. So in case of sugar, if it rotates into the clockwise direction, then it is termed as dextrorotatory, small d, or plus sign. And if it is rotate in anti-clockwise direction, then it is termed as levorotatory, small l, or negative charge, negative sign. Now next is what are racemic mixtures? So racemic mixtures are the mixture of two isomers, D isomer as well as L isomer. If we mix them together in equal concentration, then they form the racemic mixture or DL mixture. So racemic mixture does not exhibit any optical activity. Why? Because they nullify the activity, optical activity, because one is D isomer and one is L isomer. So they nullify the effect of the isomerism. So this is the example like D-glucose and N-glucose. If we mix them together in equal concentration, then they form the racemic mixture. Next, we have apimers. So, what are apimers? So, if two monosaccharides differ from each other in their configuration around a single specific carbon, then they are referred to as apimers. So, for example, glucose and galactose are apimers with regards to their carbon number 4. Means all structure is similar, only one change is on the carbon number 4. Look here, this carbon number 4, here in this case hydroxy group is on the right hand side in case of glucose, whereas in case of galactose this hydroxy group is on the left hand side. Rest all the structure is similar, glucose and galactose. Only difference is in case of carbon number 4. So glucose and galactose are termed as apimers of each other, or specifically C4 apimers of each other. We have another example, glucose and mannose, which are also apimers of each other with respect to carbon number 2. So let us look here, D-glucose and D-mannose. The rest structure is same, only in case of carbon number 2, this hydroxy group is on the right hand side, whereas in case of D-mannose, it is on the left hand side. So D-glucose and D-mannose are C2 apimers of each other, and interconversion of this two apimers are known as apimerization, and the enzyme which causes this changes, they are known as the apimerases. So next terminology is enantiomers. So enantiomers are nothing but they are the mirror images of each others. As I have stated, D-glucose and L-glucose, they are the enantiomers of each other. Now next, diastereomers. So what are diastereomers? They are not mirror images of each other. So this is all about the basic concept of carbohydrate, the stereochemistry aspect of carbohydrates. The stereochemistry will also cover in your next semester, but here also these terms are very important for you to remember in case of your examination. So what can be asked from this? It can be asked like define and classify carbohydrates with suitable examples, explain biological role of carbohydrates, and also some terminologies can be asked like what are apimers, like define following terms, what are apimers, what are enantiomers, it can be asked. So this is about today's session. I have taken this material from these books. You can also refer these books for your preparation. So thank you very much. We will cover in detail about carbohydrates in our next session. Thank you. Please do subscribe our YouTube channel Pharma Ignite. Thank you.